right now, so based on everything we spoke about in the call today, where you're currently at, what you've tried in the past, where you're looking to get to, I feel like we are actually going to be able to help you today and, essentially help you overcome the sort of fear of self-doubt that's been holding you back and ultimately get you closer to your goal. So do you want me to run you through the next couple of months and how they're going to look like and how we can actually help you?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Let's run
Awesome, awesome. So uh, over the next few months, right? So let's take 3 months, for example, right? The first month is all about building a foundation. That's the way I like to think of it, right? So in terms of building that foundation, it consists of watching some structured videos,
it.
taking notes, actually sort of taking in that knowledge, because ultimately it's like if you were to go, and fight in a boxing ring, you wouldn't actually be able to go and fight without knowing how to box first, right? It's like
Yeah.
that first sort of stepping stone to actually help you get that knowledge, and essentially further down the line actually build on it. In
Yeah.
month two, what we really focus on is essentially taking that knowledge and actually building on it a bit further, implementing it in a sense. So what you're going to do is take that knowledge, start practicing with boys within the community, get feedback from your coaches based on things that you practiced. Essentially, keep building and building and building upon that foundation so that you
hmm
do, reach a point where you do feel ready. Because month three is all about actually landing a role, using everything that you've built so far over those first 2 months and actually landing a role. Because ultimately, that's why you came in here, right? You wanted to make some good coin.
Yeah.
So that's where we take everything we've learned, put it into a good role, help you actually get a role, help you make that money that you've been after, right? How's that sounding to you so far, my man?
That sounds brilliant, man. I'm looking forward to this, like, for sure.
Cool, cool. So, I mean, based on like, just that sort of brief overview that I've sort of spoke about there, like, do you feel like that's actually going to be of a benefit to you and actually will get you closer to your goal?
Yeah, it sounds laid out like pretty sweet, my man. Like, giving me that month and month two, like that sounds achievable. Like if obviously if I put the work in, which I'm going to do.
Yeah, because in terms of like the 3 months that we spoke about there, like I've seen boys fast track that progress, right? 3 months, like that's just sort of like an average of where boys do end up after 3 months, right? And I do believe that that's perfectly achievable specifically for you, right? But I also know that you actually told me, you're very eager, very dedicated. You could essentially land that role earlier, start making money earlier. Some boys manage to land one, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in, right? But I also want you to take your time. It's like if I threw a Harry Potter book at you right now and gave you 500 quid to read it, how soon would you read it?
I get that done that fucking day, man.
In a day, exactly. But I mean, how much understanding and how much knowledge do you think you'd actually consume from the book?
Yeah, very little because I probably wouldn't even be reading the words properly, like.
Yeah, yeah. So do you see that like by rushing and essentially not taking your time, like it's just gonna all skim past you, and you actually want to make sure you're retaining the information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, spot on, man.
Awesome. So do you want me to actually run you through it in more detail as to how I've sort of give you a brief overview, but if you want, I can break it down a bit further and actually help you get a better understanding. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So obviously we touched on building that knowledge, right? So the way I want you to think of, of knowledge is like the Netflix series that your missus is making you watch right now, right? Think of the different seasons in the Netflix series, right? So the seasons are actually going to be the modules that we're able to give you so that you do,
hmm
take that knowledge in step by step. So the different modules consist of actually building that foundation. In my personal opinion, that foundation also consists of mindset, actually building that discipline, right? So that
Yeah.
is what we're actually going to focus on at the very start, building up that mindset, building up that discipline. Then we're going to progress through the modules, through the seasons, in the Netflix series. Keep going down, ticking off the episodes, watching some good videos on how everything actually works. From there, you'll be able to take some good notes. Some good notes. You'll be able to, actually go over that information, watch the episodes back as many times as you want. And
Yeah.
then at the end of those sort of episodes, you're actually going to be able to get some quizzes, like certifications in a sense, where you'll be
Okay.
able to actually make sure that you have sort of applied the knowledge, you have retained the knowledge. it's going to test your skills that you've learned. Does that
That's
sound good now?
that's spot on, man. You know, yeah, it's like a test in school, man. You know, revising for all that shit and then putting it into a quiz or putting it into a test, and then obviously you get your score back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, spot on. Because like, if you didn't have that knowledge now, if you didn't build that foundation, I mean, tell me, I mean, what do you think the next, say, couple of months would look like?
Fuck if I tried it on my own. I wouldn't even probably do anything if that makes sense, Jacob, because there's no structure or there's nothing to, for me to be on that right track.
Yeah. So why do you feel like the structure's so good then?
Because it keeps you just aligned in a sense that you're on the
Hmm.
right track. You're going to where you need to be or where you want to be, and you're ticking off this and that, and you can always look back on it and see, okay, I've done that, or ticked, I've done this, that's ticked, and then looking back on your
Hmm.
quizzes maybe and seeing how far you've come. And obviously your quizzes, the results you get is determined whether you've actually put the work in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So would you say that you sort of see how the knowledge aspect of it is laid out, that structure? Do you see how that's sort of like a clear path to actually sort of taking you closer to your goals then?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So moving on then. So that knowledge, obviously that's the foundation, right? And then the next thing that I was sort of talking about is actually the coaching side of things, right? So
Okay.
the way the coaching's laid out within obviously this academy, what we have for you now is 18 calls per week, right? So those calls, there's all different types. So there's appointment setting, sales, digital marketing, and then the mindset call as well. Obviously, we had spoke about the importance of all these different things, right?
Hmm.
So they basically cover different things. These calls focus on specific things within the modules that we talked about earlier, right? Like let's say, for example, you had a question from something within the module, something didn't make sense, something, you couldn't maybe lay something out in your head. You were struggling with something. I mean,
Yeah.
who would you go to then?
I'll go to the community obviously and look for help.
Just the community, or what about the coaches?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, yeah, the coaches as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, why would you go to the coaches?
Well, I mean, ultimately, they're going to be like teachers at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're there to help, so why not?
Yeah. Because, like, for example, whenever you went to school, mom, did you have a teacher to teach you everything that you needed?
Yeah.
Whenever you started the slaughterhouse, I mean, did you just jump straight in and started killing cows, or did you have someone to teach you there as well?
Yeah, no, there was somebody there to teach me as well, man.
Nice. So, in every sort of aspect in your life before, you've had that teacher then. So, do you feel like that's going to benefit you here then too?
110%, bro. Yeah.
And why do you, for you then specifically, why do you feel like the coaches are going to be good, like a good help?
Because again, it's like, falling back on somebody who knows what they're doing, knows where you're going wrong, or knows where you're even going right. And then
Hmm.
again, if needed, they can point you in the right direction to where you need to go.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And that's so important, right? Having somebody to actually show you, sort of point you in that right direction if you are struggling with anything, or you're maybe lacking some knowledge or whatever it is. And yes, the coaches are great, but then also we do have that community that we talked about too. So that community, essentially, there's 800 members within the actual ABC community as of right now, right? So there's many boys from and girls, sorry, my bad, from different backgrounds. For all you know, there could be somebody out there that's also worked in a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
There's all these different people that may come from the same background as you, may actually be facing the same sort of similar problems that you might be, struggling with, even in terms of actually learning the knowledge and progressing through the academy. There might be somebody out there that can always help you if you do get stuck. If you feel like maybe going to the coaches isn't the right idea, you can
Hmm.
always go to the community. I mean, like let's say, you do, for example, get stuck with something and the coaches aren't available, you don't feel like they're the right person. Do you feel like going to somebody from the community that would sort of be of any benefit?
Yeah, definitely, because it's like almost like the next level down from the coaches, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's the way I would sort of see it. And obviously, they've maybe had that issue or problem that I may be going through before. And they already know how to
exactly.
overcome it.
Yeah, because ultimately, like the coaches, like they've already been through everything. They have the knowledge. They've been in the community, they've had the coaching, but then the guys in the community, they're sort of at the same level as you. They're sort of dealing with the same shit as you are, and you're going to be able to build off them, get that help from them too. Like from my own experience as well. I mean, you're an Irish lad, aren't you? So
Yep.
there's also a lot of Irish lads within the community. So what a few of the Irish boys I've noticed have been doing? Have been meeting up together, actually meeting in real life, putting a face to the name. Fucking, I've seen a few lads go and do cold dips, go play a bit of football together, shit like that to actually build that friendship. Like I've seen lifelong friendships come out of this community.
Yeah, man.
Do you feel like that's something, that stands out to you?
Fucking sounds brilliant, man. Like, I can actually make friends, you know?
Beautiful. So now, like, sort of the last thing that I want to touch on in terms of what we actually can offer you, right? Obviously, at this point, it's been a few months. You've built that foundation. You've used the tools. You've used obviously how to obtain that knowledge through the structured videos. Then you've used the coaches and the community within the academy to actually build upon that knowledge, to practice, to improve essentially. So now at this stage, you're ready for actually implementing them skills that we talked about, right?
Hmm.
So from here, we actually teach you how to essentially think of it as like basically getting a job. We help you get a job in sales. So we work with a lot of big content creators, big agencies, big companies, right? And if we feel like you would be a good fit and you have been putting the work in, we'll be happy to put you in a role, fully remote, fully tailored to you.
Yeah,
Does that sound good?
that does sound good, man. Yeah.
And why, man?
I mean, that's what I'm after. I'm looking at remoteness in life to be able to step away from the slaughterhouse and start making good money, you know?
Mm, mm. And another thing, like, yes, obviously we're able to land you roles outside of ABC too. But if we feel like you're really putting in the work, you're really good, you're really standing out, really dedicating yourself, why wouldn't we want to, put you in a role in ABC with us as well?
Yeah.
I mean, if you are putting in the work, I mean, we would be happy to take you on too, man.
No, I'll happily take it as well for sure.
Yeah, because ultimately that's going to give you the opportunity to work fully remote and actually get those goals, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Actually, one last thing now as well, in terms of what we offer, right? So, for yourself, you were sort of telling me earlier how you were struggling with a bit of self-doubt, a bit of fear, right? And I touched on like how important the mindset is, building that foundation in terms of actually disciplining yourself, holding yourself accountable, right? But what we actually have been implementing recently as well is specifically for guys like yourself, new to the academy, we have actually got a coach specifically that focuses on mindset. So basically, like an accountability mindset coach. It's called
Mhm.
Tyler Wright. Fucking legend. So what you can do is book on weekly calls with him, and you can just jump on, have a chat, nothing sales related, literally just a conversation. Where if you feel like you're struggling with anything, even if it is in terms of sales, or if it's just something personal going on, with family and in your own head, whatever, Tyler's your guy to reach out to and make sure everything's fine, essentially.
That
Do
sounds
you feel like
good.
you could benefit from that?
Oh, definitely, you know, as you said there, like anytime I'm sort of maybe feeling down or having that self doubt that there's actually somebody there I can jump on a call with, that's great. Like,
Mm, mm. So, in terms of everything that we spoke about there now, that knowledge, coaching, community, implementation, that obviously Tyler, the coach as well. What really stood out to you?
probably having that like that 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, and having the modules there, you
Hmm.
know, and then obviously at the end of them having that quiz to make sure that you're spot on, you know. That
And
sounds
why
good.
do you feel like that's so good?
Because it's well structured, you know. It's like making sure I'm on the right track to get to where I want to be.
Yeah. So then, all of this that we spoke about, then, do you feel like all this is actually going to benefit you? Like it's going to help you overcome the fear and actually allow you to take action starting today, then, so that you can actually reach those goals as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to put the ball in your court now. Where do you want to take it from here?
I want to get started now, Jacob. Like, what's next, man?